I want to tell you about a dinner I had last week. I was with undeniably the most successful man I know. And I want to be specific about what I mean by that, because I'm not just talking about the numbers, the numbers are serious. Multiple businesses, kind of calendars that most operators spend years trying to earn, genuine freedom in the actual sense of the word. But what makes him different isn't the businesses, or the yachts, or the stunning house. It's the fact he genuinely is happy. Like good health, a marriage that clearly works, great kids. He's in his 60s and he moves through life with this kind of ease that you can just feel when you're around him. It's like a substance that he gives off. That combination, the external success and the internal ease together, is rarer than most people would admit or even know. He's old school, like traditional bloke, brought up in a particular era with a few attitudes that would not make it past a BBC editorial meeting, if you know what I mean. Not from a bad place, just a man of his generation and his working class background. We had dinner at his place, a place that he owns but doesn't spend much time in. Good food, actually very good food, and very good wine too, and the kind of evening that goes on a little bit longer than you planned because nobody wants it to end. And at some point, just as dinner was finishing, he stood up to give this speech. It was about his wife and the friends who joined us this evening, and he talked about how lucky he felt, how the people around him made the whole thing worth it, not the businesses, not the things, the people, how none of it meant anything without them. And as he was talking, you could see something happening in him. He was getting emotional. Now, this is a man who, by background and by generation, would not be expected to do what he did next. In front of 20 people, something like that, pretty intimate setting. Mid-speech, he just let a few tears roll down his face. He didn't rush past it. He wasn't embarrassed by it. He didn't clear his throat and push through or try to ignore it. He just let it be there. No apology, no performance of composure, no face to maintain. And the room went very still, and there were quite a few more tears around as well. That was a man who has nothing at all to prove, and that's what that looks like. The next morning, most of us went through this hike, a long, long walk through the Yorkshire Dales. Proper countryside, the kind of place where the light hits the hills in this certain way, and you understand why people live there and call it God's country, and they spend their whole lives there without question. I found myself walking alongside him and brought up the night before. I started to say I thought more business owners should be able to do what he did because, and he stopped me. He literally put his hand on my chest and stopped me. He said, because they'd make better decisions, wouldn't they? What he's pointing at is something that I've watched operators miss for years, and it costs them in ways they often can't trace back to the source. The path to building something real, it rewards a particular kind of control. You learn to push down feelings and stay in your head. Make the rational call, don't let it get personal, and for a while, that works. But somewhere along the way, it becomes the exact thing that limits them. Not their strategy or their marketing or the team or anything like that. The fact they've been overriding their own signal for so long they've lost the capacity to read it. Because emotions aren't the thing getting in the way of good decisions at all. They're part of the data set of being a conscious human being. Anger isn't just a reaction. It's your system telling you something has crossed a line that matters to you, something that needs defending. If you suppress it without reading it, you miss the signal and it transforms into something else. You either let the thing go that should have been let go, or it compounds and comes out 3 weeks later at the wrong moment, or even through another emotion. Fear isn't weakness. Fear is your brain allocating attention. It's saying, this thing deserves attention. The question isn't how you get rid of it. It's what's it pointing at. That's really what it is. Is this a real threat? Is this my system catastrophizing? And if so, why now? What does it know that I haven't consciously registered yet? Same with shame, same with frustration, same with that low-grade pride that shows up on a good day and tells you something is working. Every one of these states is carrying information that your logical mind, however sharp or brilliant you are, cannot generate on its own. And when operators learn to read rather than suppress, something shifts. Decisions get faster, not reckless, cleaner, because they're not working against their own internal signal. The conversation they've been avoiding, the one they know needs to happen, they have it sooner because the discomfort of not having it is data they're actually listening to. The thing that feels wrong in the business model, the hire that doesn't sit right, the direction they've been resisting, they trust those reads instead of just overriding them. The man at dinner had been doing this for 40 years. Not because he read about it, but because somewhere along the way he stopped treating his inner state as this problem to manage and started treating it as information to use so he could be better and build something more incredible. That, my friends, is the shift. I'm not saying at all, fall apart in the boardroom or whatever facility you have. This isn't about some bullshit performative feelings or leading every conversation with this monologue about your inner world. It's about being more complete as an operator. The ones who perform most consistently are the ones who have developed the ability to feel something acutely in a business moment. The anxiety before the hard call, the anger that something's gone wrong, the instinct that something isn't right, and instead of burying it, they ask, what's this telling me? And that's a skill, and like every skill, it responds to training, to sets and reps. So here's what I'd like to leave you with. Next time you feel something strong in a business moment, before the reflex to push it down kicks in, just pause. One breath. Ask what it's pointing at, because that's the first rep.